everyone and welcome to episode 4 of F1 2014 Sprint Career with Fernando's Dash for Victory here at the Hungaroring. So we jump out straight onto the track for this race with Nico Rosberg on pole instead of Lewis. And we start in 5th, so should give us plenty of opportunities into the first turn. From 5th position, the chances of finishing on the podium are pretty high on these sprint races. So 5 lights and we're off on the Hungaroring here in Hungary behind Vettel, and he had a sloppy start compared to me. Hulkenberg had a great start. So here we go into turn 1, and we got both Mercedes next to each other, and I don't know where Hamilton is going, but he was taking a little detour, but out of the turn he has like monster traction, so he pulled away regardless, and we go a little wide. We kind of lose the back end a little bit on this corner, but not too bad. Hungary has always been a pretty good track in my opinion to drive. Just need to get used to these cars on this track. As you can see, I haven't really gotten my feet wet just yet on the Hungaroring on 2014, but that's alright. It's mostly the same as last year, just have to brake a little later. And there's more room for correction as well. But speaking of connection, we losing them, like we're losing connection with Hamilton and Rosberg, because they are pulling away with their Mercedes powered engine units. And we have a Alonso train forming. Well, we have Nico Hulkenberg at 2nd behind us now, but we have to correct ourselves in this mid corner again, and you can be so late on the power for this turn. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that now Hulkenberg is 4 tenths behind us, so he gained 6 tenths in the last corner, and yeah, we can almost not recognize the cars ahead of us anymore. If we didn't know it was Hamilton and Rosberg, it might as well have been a grey car number 1 and grey car number 2. Or silver, if you really think it's silver. I think the McLaren is more silver than the Silver Arrow is. Anyways, lap 2, so we have gotten a little feeling for the track, so we don't screw up so much anymore, hopefully now. I always hated this these 2 turns on the last game. They don't seem too bad on this game though, weirdly enough. There's a lot of room for correction, like I said earlier, and yeah, the car seems a little more agile through those corners. The understeer is real though, and something happened to Hamilton and also Rosberg, I think, because they both dropped back a little and were close again. So maybe there are some chances on the last lap, but we do have to need to get traction out of this corner first and flip it up into next 3. And Hulkenberg is still 4 tenths behind us, so we haven't been able to shake him either. And Rosberg has gotten is overtaken by Hamilton. And we also overtook Rosberg because he was kind of flustered, I guess. Maybe some problems with his hybrid system. Maybe flipping the wrong switch for the boost instead of the longevity of a power boost. Oh well, he even lost out to Hulkenberg, as you can see. So we have Hamilton to contend with now. I don't think Hulkenberg is a threat because he's been like half a second behind us for the entire race now. So I don't think he is going to make any moves anytime soon. But maybe we can make a move on Hamilton in the last sector. It will be tricky because yeah, traction is very limited. It's not really a overtaking spot on the track in general. And yeah, as I see Hamilton pull away a second in the middle sector, I don't think we have a chance at it either. And that's okay. 2nd place would be a great result for Fernando here in Hungary. And we only need to conquer 1 more corner to make that a realization. But as you can see, the indicator arrow, Hulkenberg is right behind us. We pull out on him in the last second of the race, and we finish in 2nd position. So all in all, a really good position, a really good result for Alonso in the first race today. This Hungaroring has been good for the Ferrari. So Nico in fourth. And as you can see, we are still second with 21 points behind Hamilton, and one race win behind is Nico Rosberg. So celebrations all around. Somehow there was still a number on the dashboard, even though the wheel was disconnected, as you guys could see. And if not, rewind it a little bit and pause the video because it went really quickly. So, three-team podium, as you can see, and we go congratulate Hamilton, but he liked to bask in his glory, so we should go whatever. Right, so it's time for Spa, and I think we just had the summer break, so a few weeks of relaxation for Alonso. He went to Corsica, this is a French island, and then he went to chill there. Because he got sick of Italian food, so he went for some French food and some Mediterranean stuff. Anyways, Lewis also had a very good summer because he starts on pole, and we start in 7th here at Spa. But I expect a good position or a good result here, since I've been driving this track for a while. But I don't know what's wrong with my speech today, but it doesn't matter. Off we go because the lights are already off, and yeah, there were real squeaking, and we did have a little of a bog down, but turn 1 is always a treat here at Spa because everyone just brakes a lot. And we get a great exit out of turn 1 as well, because we even pull out on Rosberg, and it seems Hamilton had a bad exit because we are about to plow him as well on this straight. What a difference in straight line speed. We are already in 8th, obviously, so the slipstream is really powerful here, and getting a good run out of the first turn is super important. So yes, in P1 after just, let's say, Eau Rouge. So what Vettel couldn't do in real life, Alonso managed to do in the game, and very OP at it because we pretty much overtook him before even the straight part. So that's always good. So, tricky corner now, here we go, shift down to 6th and then power down again. That's how I take it. It is a lovely track though. There are so many corners and you have to nail them all if you want to get like the perfect lap in, or at least a good time, because one little mistake, some corners are more important than others, obviously, and lose more time if you fuck up on them. But yeah, we have the back straight here approaching Blanchiment, and we have Hamilton right on our gearbox now. Indicator arrows go left and right. Somehow he doesn't take any chance at a overtake though, he just sticks behind me, and I don't know why. And now the indicator arrow disappears for a second again, but 3/10 is all we have on him, so we have to take tight lines through corners here if we want to stay ahead of Mr. Lewis here, because he is very fast, and we gotta make sure we avoid him slipstreaming us as well. So we just take a little different line through Eau Rouge as well, but there is no escaping the Mercedes, and he is coming for us. But the straight is just a few hundred meters too short for Hamilton. 1/10 now, and 1/10 to Rosberg, so we are properly forming a train once again, as you can see on the mini-map as well. Those dense white arrows are all merging into one line with each other. So the last two corners were one of the important ones on this track. Also this one very important. If you run wide, you're gonna lose major time and get stuck on the middle raised curb as well. So you have to ride that until the curb finishes, and then you can get back on the track, basically. If you make too many sudden moves, well, you're stuck on there, your car basically spins. So for the second time on the back straight, one of the longest tracker of the year, obviously, because the lap times are closer to 2 minutes than they are to 1.5 minutes. And I take 1.5 minutes as a general rule of thumb for a average track. And of course it's between 130 140 most of the time. But there's also tracks that run a little over a minute, so if you take all the tracks and make a average, then the average Formula 1 track lasts you around 1.5 minutes. So, wrong gear, first gear, so our back end kind of squeaked and wiggled. So you need to be off the power at that moment, very careful, and also shift up before you get on the power again. And that way you can avoid a spinning situation. But still, we have Hamilton on a gearbox, but Ricciardo overtook Rosberg in the last lap. So that's always positive, because I like to see Ricciardo on the podium, as he rightfully deserves to be. Yeah. So nailing this corner is very important. You need to stick your car to the inside, and as you can see on the exit, I was a little too eager on the power, so I had to lift off, adjust, and then power down again. So we are in rich, and on this game you can really feel the difference between the fuel mixtures, especially when you're in rich and you're in slow corners. You need to be a little more careful on the power, and actually you don't press the pedal down as much as you would in normal. This corner also very important to get a good run onto the back straight, and 6/10 on Hamilton, so I hope I can still pull out on him with exiting on the back straight with a fairly high speed last time through Blanchimont, and then we are approaching the bus stop, which isn't officially a bus stop chicane anymore, but regardless of that we go through it, whatever its name is. And we come home in P1 here in Belgium. So this is sort of my home race, because we don't have a track that Formula 1 is driven on in Holland. So Spa is the closest. Well, Germany as well, but then you could consider the UK close, because they're all countries around mine. But I consider that driving distance wise, Spa would be the easiest to access to and the closest as well. So celebrations once again, but this time on the top step of the podium, and Fernando has a great points haul. We are only a few points behind Hamilton now. So on to the final race of this episode today, and after Spa comes one of the most classic tracks on the calendar. It's Monza, and there's a lot of controversy around this track, because actually the Formula 1 organization is planning to ditch this track in a few years, and it would be a shame to lose the Italian Grand Prix, and I really hope that they will replace it for another Italian track, but maybe the one that's more interesting corner-wise, because this is more straights. So straight away into the race. Here we go. Lights are off, and we're off the line, and we kind of bogged down. We don't have a good start here, which isn't advantageous for us, especially into turn 1, but as you can see, the AI all sort of avoid me. I don't know, I just went through the middle. I didn't really brake aggressively either, but somehow it's like a curtain opening, all the AI just disappear, and we overtake both Massa and Magnussen after the first turn, and 2 more corners. That was really aggressive for me. You could hear it by the way the wheels were squeaking, and Lesmo won. Tricky corner, but Lesmo 2 even trickier, because you need to get a good exit out of it, and we go a little wide, so we don't get a good exit out of it, and Massa pulls out on us. So compensated with a little high fuel mixture, and hoping that the Hulkenberg car, the Force India, isn't too close to us to overtake into Ascari and take a lot of curb, not too much, just that was a little too much on the exit in my opinion. I don't think all the wheels, I think all the wheels were off the track at one point, but entering Ascari was a clean entry in my opinion. And then we have Parabolica in this game. there's less grip coming out of it. As you can see, I am really struggling, which doesn't bode well for us because we're only in P5. It's already lap 2, and as you can see on the mini-map, the top 2 already exited turn 1 now, and then we have the other 2 people that are behind them, including Bottas in front of us. Well, P1, 2 and 3 are close to each other, but Bottas is trailing behind, but we are even trailing even more behind them, about the same distance that Bottas is removed from P3. So we have to make up a lot of time on this lap, but as you can see, another back end stepping out, and we have to correct it by going really slowly, and we lose even more time. So hopefully Massa isn't too opportunistic coming out of the Ascari and doesn't get a chance to overtake us, because Fernando would be pretty pissed if his old teammate would overtake him in a Williams. So it's still a clean entry in my opinion, because I still have 2 wheels on the track at all time, and that's the way you should drive, really. I mean, it's okay to eat a little of the curb, although I don't think every F1 car does that on every lap, because it's really bad for the driver to be going over bumps the whole time. I think your back would pretty much be killed in the end. And 2 whole seconds behind Bottas, so the final race of this episode doesn't promise to be a podium unless we have a very much, a lot of luck in the last lap, and I don't assume that will happen on the sprint mode. But you never know. We are a little closer to Bottas now, but Bottas also lost distance to the top runners, and that wasn't a clean entry, I know. Somehow the game did allow it, but that's okay. So entering the Lesmos for the last time, and Lesmo 2, let's hope we get a good exit. We run wide again. I think there's a lot of oversteer in that corner compared to the last game. Because if you turned in early, you could really hook it up through the corner and just use the throttle to even out your car on the exit. And in this game, it's a little different. I don't think that was beautiful either. I think I could take also a lot more speed through the sky. I don't know if anyone agrees with it, but I think you can take a lot more speed through it and just steer a little less, making sure that the car is properly set up before when you enter the first Ascari. But we come home in P5, let's say average result, especially for Ferrari's home race, which it is kind of. So that's a real shame, and yeah, it's not something that the locals will appreciate, with Ferrari being 5th and 9th here. So still 2nd in the Drivers' Championship. Anyways, that's it for this episode. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you again on episode 5.